From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Tuesday, April 6th. I'm Wayne Pratt. Voters head to the polls today for municipal elections throughout the region. A new mayor will be chosen in St. Louis. The fate of a 1% earnings tax for people who live and work in the city will be decided. Dozens of municipalities in the region are holding elections for their executive and legislative branches. Many of those races are uncontested. Several school districts are electing board members and asking for money to improve facilities. The new mayor of St. Louis, either City Treasurer Tashara Jones or Alderwoman Kara Spencer, will have several issues to deal with, including the ongoing unrest at the downtown jail. Officials are planning to move inmates from the St. Louis Justice Center to the workhouse. As St. Louis Public Radio's Kayla Drake reports, officials say workers need time to replace doors that have been damaged during repeated uprisings, the most recent of which occurred Sunday night.
Officials say it will take months to replace locks in the Justice Center. Over the last few months, inmates have broken out of cells to protest conditions at the jail and demand that they receive court dates. Those protests have attracted substantial attention from reporters and live streamers who have broadcast the inmates' concerns. Activists and other members of the public are pressuring the city to make changes. St. Louis Corrections Commissioner Dale Glass says that attention, in part, sparked the latest uprising on Sunday.
The detainees or inmates see that this is the reaction. We have this support in this, what we did. It is not hard to imagine that it might occur again.
Officials have not said how many inmates they plan to transfer to the workhouse. I'm Kayla Drake, St. Louis Public Radio.
Many inmates at the Justice Center have been waiting months for courts to process their jury trial cases. Public defenders say the delays have been extended by the pandemic. That's where St. Louis Public Radio's Chad Davis picks up the story.
The Sunday night uprising at the Justice Center was the latest in a string of protests by inmates. Many chanted that they wanted to see action on their cases. Court officials postponed jury trials and court hearings during the pandemic. St. Louis District Defender Matthew Mahaffey says the pandemic has made it difficult for courts to convene juries. Mahaffey says now that the courts have started to schedule jury trials, he hopes that more will be heard in the coming months.
If COVID continues to be manageable or maintain, at least not increase in its severity on a local level, we should hopefully see more jury trials coming going forward.
Jury trials have resumed in March and are scheduled through August. I'm Chad Davis, St. Louis Public Radio.
Missouri officials are encouraging every adult in the state to register for the COVID-19 vaccine. A massive immunization site is set to open tomorrow at America Center in downtown St. Louis. FEMA Region 7 Administrator Kathy Fields says the biggest task in the coming weeks will be convincing people to get their shots.
If you know people who have not gotten a vaccination, send them to us so we can help save lives.
All adults in Missouri will become eligible for the vaccine starting Friday. All Illinois residents older than 16 will be eligible April 12th. Preparations for that mass vaccination event come as the St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force reports no daily COVID-19 deaths for the first time since October. It also says the 7-day average for hospitalizations is at its lowest point since mid-July. Nearly 100 patients have been released from system hospitals over the past 3 days. The task force includes BJC Healthcare, SSM Health, St. Luke's, and Mercy. Here are some of the items we are following today in the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom. As mentioned earlier, the polls close at 7 tonight. In today's municipal elections, one of the high-profile races is in St. Louis, where voters are choosing a new mayor. There are questions about whether mass vaccination sites are the most effective way to immunize the public. Those concerns come as FEMA and the National Guard prepare to open one of those sites this week in downtown St. Louis. And St. Louis will be one of 6 regional hubs in Missouri focusing on expanding high-quality early childhood education opportunities. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio, music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. We are a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to conservation and careful management of the state's forests to make them more resilient and better habitats for wildlife. ChooseWood.com.